And thanks again, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, it's Adam.
Good. Hey, good to talk to you at last.
What's that?
Good to talk to you at long last.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, you know.
It happens. It happens, believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as I was telling Trina a second ago there, we are basically doing an introductory article on the band. This is for Rocking On Magazine, which is the largest music magazine here in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And the success of the band is sort of hitting us from left field here. Actually, I'm just an interpreter. The questions have been put together by a journalist at the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And so she stayed up all night doing her homework.
Okay.
So there might be some inconsistencies with the actual facts. So I hope you'll bear with us here.
Sure.
I guess the last album sold like 1.2 million copies. So the success of this most recent Anima is not exactly that big a surprise, is it?
I guess, you know, I just think we took so long to come up with an album, people are really starved for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's why it did so well. You know, people just, you know, new tool, and there's a lot of, you know, underground talk. So I guess, I mean, that's my own theory, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's, you know, the facts.
But you seem to have a pretty loyal following. It's like almost sort of like...
But it's real underground, you know, it's not, I don't know, it's not very commercial at all.
But I mean, it's underground in the same way that Nine Inch Nails is underground, which is, you know, not really very underground anymore. You know, it's just a lot of people are listening to that kind of music now.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like this underground vibe. I mean, all I can judge from is, like, the people that come to see us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's where I'm making that observation.
Yeah. But, I mean, you obviously had not expected this to go number 2 on the Billboard charts.
No, not at all.
Yeah, which is quite amazing. I mean, we're talking like the type of thing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to categorize your sound, and I think the woman who was coming up with these questions was sort of fishing around for the proper term. But I mean, I guess you kind of fit in the alternative category, don't you?
I guess if you need to categorize us, I mean, I don't know. I've always been listening to the music that's influenced Tool, you know, so I don't know. I've never looked at us as alternative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just like, you know, a kind of like when we started, people called us metal, because metal was still popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started calling us alternative when Nirvana came out. And then when Nine Inch Nails came out, they started calling us industrial. So that's what I'm saying. It's a real hard observation as far as my own opinion. Is I don't know. I just think we're, you know, just kind of godless rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Godless, did you say?
Yeah.
Why godless?
Just uninhibited. You know, follows no rules. You know, against the grain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you think your lyrics are very important to the fans? It seems like there's a lot of mysteries about what you guys are saying and what your messages are.
Well, I don't know. We're a band very on a social, selfish level, meaning this whole project is for us because we believe in life you have to make yourself happy, you know, to be successful. You know, money doesn't equal happiness. Happiness equals happiness. And if you're happy, you'll be successful. So the lyrics and the music and everything is done by the four of us for us. You know, we're not worried about, you know, is this radio friendly, or is this going to fit in the category where we can market this, or, you know, it's just kind of like just playing what you feel and you like it, and other people like it if you like it. You know what I mean? Maybe not in vast numbers, you know, but.
The band has not exactly been that enthusiastic about doing press, right? You guys don't do that many interviews and stuff, right?
Not really. We just, on the last album, you know, they threw every single interview possible at us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how many times can you say the same thing, and how many times can you read the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
So we just thought, look, we'll just be, a little more picky this time. So that's what we're doing.
Uh-huh. Do you ever consider the notion that the fans are waiting to read interviews about you, or they need some sort of way to find out, what you guys are thinking, what you guys are doing?
Yeah, sure, and that that can be a good element. A little bit of mystery is cool, but I don't know. I just want people to get us if they're if they're going to be listening to music and not like shoved down their throats, not like spelled out for them. More like kind of like putting your hands in clay and just kind of like feeling your way through it or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you want people to feel out the music more than anything else.
Yeah. I want people to think. And not just bang their heads or be excited because it's played on the radio. And I don't know. We don't print our lyrics because we really want people to kind of like sit a little closer to the speaker and really try and figure out what we're saying and interpret it. And I don't know, that's what I like to do, and that's what the four of us like to do. I mean, I'm not saying that we're like this little tool club. I mean, each one of us is pretty much a free thinker and our own human being, and we all like different things and have different influences. It's just when we're together, that's what Tool's about, and we kind of like come in the middle of this circle, and it's pretty much the same thinking. It's nice. So.
Our interviewer notes that compared to Undertow, Anima sounds like it sounds like it represents quite a bit of development on your part. Did you spend a lot of time on writing material? Did you feel like there's a big difference between Anima and Undertow?
Yeah, I mean it's just Tool's very experimental. That's why people keep going, well, I like your first album, I don't like your other two. Or people go, I like your middle album, I don't like your first or your second or your third one. And then they're like, well, I like the new one only. Well, that's because it keeps developing as experimental. When we first started out, we were real hard, and then we kind of tapered off, and then we've even tapered off more and gone different directions now. So, and we'll continue to do that. It's just a growing experience.
And I guess you changed producers for this album as well. You had David Bottrell produce this one. I'm sure you've been asked this quite a bit before, but how did his name come up?
His name came up because we were looking for someone who was really, really technically talented at producing or engineering, and who had never done anything like Tool before. So Dave's, worked with Peter Gabriel and King Crimson and the New World or Real World label, and all those kind of people. So it was just another element that we thought would just more add to the band than just like be the flavor of the month guy, because that's what we kept getting in our faces. Oh, use this guy, he's a name. Use this guy, he just did the Nirvana album. Use this guy, he just did this album. It's just, no, we wanted to use someone who would add something, not just be a name and marketing, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know. We never started this for the money, but, it's become successful. Now it's become our jobs, but we still want to keep our dignity. You know what I mean?
Right.
And keep that same creative flow like we did when we started it.
Who actually brought David's name up in the first place? Who was familiar with him? Was it you guys or was it the record company? Or?
No, it was us, because we were real big fans of the last King Crimson album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thwacker. Yeah.
Okay, and when it came time to making this album, like what sort of things did you have in mind? You talk about being very experimental, but what sort of concepts were you considering, say, in comparison to Undertow? What did you want to repeat? What did you want to get away from? What exactly?
I don't know if I can really answer that like that. It's you just kind of everyone's got their ideas and riffs, and it's not like, oh, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and I want to try this. It's just kind of like what you're feeling at the time, and plus we have a new member, and that seems to kind of add to that too, because he's got his own style of writing, and it's just where you're at the time,
the interviewer says here that you guys it sounds very all sounds very heavy and serious, to use her words. Is that the intention, or do you think that that's just an element of the music she's placing a bit too much importance?
No, it is heavy and serious, and then there's an inside joke on every song too. I mean, it's just that's what I'm saying. It's like the four of us are all friends, and everything is, within your circle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I know, sometimes, you try to explain one of the songs to someone, they don't really understand it, because they don't know you, they don't hang out with you,
right.
They don't like the same kind of movies you like, they don't, go to the same bars you hang out at, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
You guys all met in L.A.?
Yeah.
And it says here, Adam, that you had been working in the movie industry.
Yeah.
So you weren't originally involved in music then, professionally, that is?
Not professionally, no. I mean, I've been playing music since I've been as long as I can remember,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you had, that was your dream, and you were just in the movie business because you just had.
No, it wasn't actually even a dream. It's just I was working in the film business.
Mm-hmm.
Maynard and Paul were making sets, and Danny was actually the only professional musician, playing with Carole King and playing with about 3 other bands, and we just started playing as a goof, just like as therapy, something on the side. I'm sure there's something you do on the side, like you go play racquetball, or you go do something recreational from your day life or your day job, and that's what Tool was. And then we started playing out, and then we got a record offer, and we're like, oh, brother. And then when we got 10, we started going, well, maybe this might be cool.
Well, that's quite remarkable that just something you're doing recreational lands you a record deal, because, I mean, bands who really try hard, cannot even achieve that kind of status, and you guys wandered into it.
Yeah. I just think it's right place at the right time kind of thing, and it was just really weird, because, we all live in Hollywood, and it's real glam, and there's kind of a really kind of stale, stenchy glam feeling there of everyone trying to make it, or being an actress, and being a musician, or being this, or being that, and we were kind of just like in the shadows of all that, but it really, kind of helps when you kind of stand back and look at everything, and then once you get the record deal, you can kind of like, see through all the bullshit and go after what you really want. And I think we got a pretty good deal.
So musically, how different is the Tool of now from the Tool of your recreational days?
Well, that's what I was telling you. Like before, I said that's why we really try to stay underground, and we really don't push our images, and we don't really push our ideas, to throw it in people's faces, because we want to keep that spontaneity and that experimental level. I mean, as soon as this becomes a real job, I'm quitting.
Right. So you guys all come from pretty diverse musical backgrounds, then, or
very.
Well, if there's a common bonding element, what do you think it is?
What do you mean?
I mean, in terms of like similar tastes, do you guys all agree? Is there like a consensus on one artist in general?
No, I can't answer that, because there are, but I can't just say one. And some of all our musical tastes together as one, because there's so many different elements of music that everybody likes, and then there's stuff I like that Danny hates, and stuff Danny likes that Maynard hates, but it's like food, there's tons of food you like, and there's some you don't like, and your friends like their food this way, but they like it with a little, spice in here, and a little salt on this, and I don't know.
Does the music come pretty easily, or is there a lot of like arguing and then lobbying about who?
No. It just kind of it's brought together. It's jammed. The lyrics are always written last, and everyone tries to pull in a different direction, but we all kind of meet in the middle, and no, I don't think there's never any arguing. Sometimes there might be, someone wants to go this way and someone wants to go the other way, and they feel bad, but you try it both ways, and after what that, kind of, puts the reality into it of which way you should really go with it. So, I mean, we're pretty good with working together, especially under pressure.
the jacket art, the interviewer notes here, seems to kind of enhance your image of mysteriousness. Did you try to come up with something that was very eye grabbing? What exactly did you?
Well, yeah. I mean, every time we've done an album, I've always done the artwork after the album was made.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have a feeling of the album, and there's different emotions to express, and that's what I do. Is like, we talk about concepts, and then I just try and do it visually, and it's like it's all based on I don't know, just kind of like I look at the whole album as a film soundtrack or something, and then I try to picture images and feelings and emotions and just all that element to it, and just try and make something really artistic that expresses what's going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That sounds too pretentious.
No, it doesn't. I guess you want to come up with something that people just can keep on looking at and not get tired of.
Exactly. I mean, that's always the thing I've strive for is I want someone to think they got more than their money's worth. Because that's what I want.
Yeah. And I guess you also want to sort of give them the entire package, not just the music, but the visual experience as well.
It's a full circle, man.
How about the live presentation? What sort of things do you guys try to get across in your live presentation?
Well, I don't know. It depends where we're playing and what we can afford to do. In the States we have 2 screens with video, and we have lots of lights and smoke, but we don't really use the lights as like Kiss or something. We use it more as a feeling, so they're real slow and dreamy.
Mm-hmm.
And the band, besides those elements, is secondary. Because we don't care what people, if people know what we look like.
Mm.
I mean, it's really nice too. We can play, a place with 5,000 people in it, and I can go out and watch the 2 opening bands, and nobody recognizes me.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of a 90s thing, though? It seems like a lot of bands these days, really popular bands, they have members that are not known necessarily to their public. People know about the names of the bands, but not necessarily the individual members.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been too up on it. I lead kind of a sheltered life in that, and, I got to wait for someone to hand me, a CD and go, hey, check this out. And I go, wow.
But yeah, I guess coming from the film industry, you guys are pretty particular about the type of visual presentation you have.
Oh, yeah.
You spend a lot of time mapping that out, and
yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh. And are you pretty satisfied with what you've been able to do? You say it depends on where you play and what kind of money you have.
Yeah, well, we always try to do something to make the show memorable and let people have a good time. Because I just, it's so much fun playing live, and I don't know, I just want to, get that across to everyone else. I'm having as much fun as they are.
The interviewer here says that she was very surprised to learn you guys are from California because the music has a very European sound to it.
I don't know what that means.
I guess.
But we all moved here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm from Illinois, Maynard's from Michigan, Justin's from England, and Danny's from Kansas.
Ah.
So, it's, I don't know if you can really stereotype it like that.
Yeah. So she says that also she says that you do, among so-called alternative acts, you do sort of stand out as a separate element, as something pretty distinct and different. So you don't see any other acts as kindred spirits or other artists doing this?
Pink Floyd has always been like a huge influence, and I think we all, maybe we don't go, hey, we want to be like Pink Floyd, but definitely that influence is there. I mean, if you want to take one band.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lot of those, like King Crimson, Led Zeppelin, and a lot of those 70 bands that just did what they wanted, and it had nothing to do with radio or what was popular or whatever. It was just kind of what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all based from rock.
Are you guys, I'm not sure your ages, but did you listen to all that stuff after the fact, or were you listening to it at the time?
Listen to time. We're old men. No, we're old. Justin's 25, I'm 31, Maynard's 32, and Danny's 34.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a pretty wide age span there.
Yeah.
But so your musical roots go back pretty far then.
Oh yeah. Ever since I was a little kid, I started playing violin when I was like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've been playing guitar since as long as I can remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was when you first started playing guitar, what kind of music were you doing? Were you like...
I've never... I've had extensive training and lessons through, you know, classical violin and bass, but I've never had a guitar lesson in my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, it was just stuff like figuring, you know, picking stuff out, or, you know, my dad played a little bit, so he would show me chords and stuff.
What kind of stuff did you first copy when you started playing?
At that age, it was just like, you know, dumb folk songs, and, you know, like I knew, like, the intro to the, dueling banjo thing from Deliverance, you know. You know, I thought that was great.
When you became proficient enough to pick stuff off of records, like what kind of stuff were you
Oh, you know, just whatever the sign of the time stuff was, you know, whatever, you know. I don't know if I can really name anything. It was just...
Did you ever go through a period where you were just like listening to guitarists, or was music more something whole to you?
Totally whole. Yeah. I really, like I said, we all have a very wide range of influence of music, and it, you know, it still holds up, and it held up then too. I mean, Danny's dad was a musician. I mean, a music teacher, and, you know, let them listen to anything they wanted. You know, I don't know.
You talk about Pink Floyd as being a big influence on you. The interviewer here makes mention of the song you do in German. There's a song you do on this album. It sort of creates that kind of a heavy, almost, you know, oppressive sort of sound there. Does that entirely come from Floyd, or
Well, see, that's what I was saying. That's why I didn't want to answer that question when you were saying, can you name a band that you're all into? It's like, you can't keep going back on that. I'm just saying the thing I liked about Pink Floyd is they made people think, and their visuals were just important as their music, and what, including album artwork, film, lighting, you know, whatever they did was, you know, thought-provoking, and that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the music's awesome, but, you know, I can't really pull a Tool song up and go, oh, right there, that was influenced by Pink Floyd.
Right, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you guys are a product of your scene, or are you a product of an LA scene at all? Because other LA musicians have sort of mentioned...
No, because I think we were totally going against all the grain. Not purposely, that's just the way it kind of came out. But, you know, I know a lot of bands that were playing at the same time. I mean, the only band I can think of that kind of broke out of that too was Rage. Because those are friends of ours, and they were playing at the same time we were. You know.
Yeah, that's one thing that's mentioned here. I guess the interviewer was talking to Tom from Rage Against the Machine, and he was saying something about how the alternative scene in the States is going to remain healthy for the time being because there'll be new albums released by Tool and Porno for Pyros. So he gave some high praise to your band there. So that's the only other band you have really relationship with in LA.
Oh no, I know a bunch of bands. I'm just saying, from what you were saying about, you know, the scene. You know, I just don't think we're really part of a scene, and I don't think Rage was really part of a scene. They were just kind of in their own element, and not because they were trying to be, just because that's kind of the way it comes out. You know.
It says on your first album there was some people from the Rollins band were on the first album.
Yeah, we toured with them, and then invited Henry to come down and sing on one of the songs.
Oh, Henry was actually doing it.
Yeah.
Are you still on good terms with them, or?
I don't know. You know, I haven't seen Henry in a long time. He's a big movie star now, and you know, so. And
there's this thing about lacrimology. Are these guys still flogging that?
Well, we never flogged it. We never, ever flogged it. Someone from a record company knew we were kind of into this and wrote about it, and we were really insulted by it. We've even asked them to stop printing that.
Is that right?
I'm sorry?
Is that right?
No, yeah, I've asked them to, you know, change our bio, and I keep getting angry because it was a long time ago, and I keep having people, you know, going, so what's this lacrimology stuff? And it's like, it's something really personal. It's like going, so, you know, how do you wipe your ass? Do you go from front to back or back to front? Do you use a lot of toilet paper? You know, it's not about that. It's a personal thing, and I don't know. It's again one of those things that you can't really understand unless you're like experiencing You know, it's a life thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a religion. It's not anything like that. I mean, you can get the same thing from any book.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
wait, so
read Dune, you'll get the same thing.
Wait, did this book actually exist? The Joyful Guide to Life?
It was never released.
It was never released.
It was never released as a book,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a manuscript.
To a manuscript to. Oh, I see. It was written, but never published.
Exactly.
I see. But if it was never published, how did you find out about it?
Because I knew a guy named Ronald Vincent,
Mm-hmm.
and I met him just before he died,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of hung out with the dude.
I see. And lacrimology is the study of crying.
Yeah, it's a study of tears. It's I don't know. I think you should give up on this part of the interview.
I didn't want to put too fine a point on it. I just wanted to kind of bring it up in passing here.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. There. Not,
You know, it's really funny though. I don't know if you want to write about this, but you know, Babes in Toyland.
Mm-hmm.
Maureen Herman and Tom Morello from Rage and I all grew up together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we all went to high school together and we used to make films together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just pretty funny. I don't know. Small world.
Yeah, well, you mean in Illinois you guys grew up together?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, well, you guys all arrived in the same scene.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Now, you guys are on tour right now.
Yeah, actually, I got to get going too.
Okay.
Did you want to finish up?
Maybe, yeah, finish up here with one last comment on what you guys are doing on tour and like what kind of venues you play and who you're playing with.
We're just doing kind of a small tour, and we're playing with local acts, and we're just trying to warm up a little bit. And then I'm hoping we're going to come to New Zealand and Australia and Japan in the spring, but who knows?
But you guys were number 2 on the Billboard charts. Why are you doing small places? It seems like you guys would be breaking out into larger venues now.
Because we don't want to, you know, overkill anything.
Mm.
You know, we just want to, like, I don't know, like I said, just keep it underground.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
As long as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Keep our dignity as long as we can. I don't want to ever look back on this band and go, ugh, what was I doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. There was one last question. Why is there not more an element of humor in your music?
Why is there what?
Why is there not more of an element of humor in your music?
There is.
There is. But
There's so much humor you wouldn't believe it, but it's just inside humor. Every song, I told you that, every song is an inside joke.
I see. Okay, we're not getting it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not about that, man. It's just about, you know, what just comes out of us, and we put it on the tape, and then we show images with it, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's no rules,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. All right, well, Adam, thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
Steve.
I wish you guys the best of luck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take care on the road then, huh?
And maybe we'll see you when we come over to Japan.
I sure hope so.
Okay.
Okay, then.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Godless, did you say?
Yeah.
Why godless?
Just uninhibited, you know, follows no rules, you know, against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think your lyrics are very important to the fans? It seems like there's a lot of mysteries about what you guys are saying and what your messages are.
Well, I don't know. We're a band very on a social, selfish level, meaning this whole project is for us. Because we believe in life you have to make yourself happy, you know, to be successful. You know, money doesn't equal happiness. Happiness equals happiness. And if you're happy, you'll be successful. So the lyrics and the music and everything is done by the four of us for us. You know, we're not worried about, you know, is this radio friendly, or is this going to fit in the category where we can market this, or, you know, it's just kind of like just...
And thanks again, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, it's Adam.
Good. Hey, good to talk to you at last.
What's that?
Good to talk to you at long last.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, you know.
It happens. It happens, believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as I was telling Trina a second ago there, we are basically doing an introductory article on the band. This is for Rocking On Magazine, which is the largest music magazine here in Japan. And the success of the band is sort of hitting us from left field here. Actually, I'm just an interpreter. The questions have been put together by a journalist at the magazine, and so she stayed up all night doing her homework.
Okay.
So there might be some inconsistencies with the actual facts. So I hope you'll bear with us here.
Sure.
I guess the last album sold like 1.2 million copies. So the success of this most recent Anima is not exactly that big a surprise, is it?
Playing what you feel and you like it, and other people like it if you like it, you know what I mean? Maybe not in vast numbers, you know, but...
The band has not exactly been that enthusiastic about doing press, right? You guys don't do that many interviews and stuff, right?
Not really. We just, on the last album, you know, they threw every single interview possible at us. And it's like, how many times can you say the same thing, and how many times can you read the same thing? So we just thought, you know, look, we'll just be, you know, a little more picky this time. So that's what we're doing.
Do you ever consider the notion that the fans are waiting to read interviews about you, or they need some sort of way to find out, you know, what you guys are thinking, what you guys are doing?
Yeah, sure, and that, you know, that can be a good element. You know, a little bit of mystery is cool, but I don't know. I just want people to get us if they're, you know, if they're going to be listening to music and not like shut.
The type of thing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston do. You know? It's kind of hard to categorize your sound, and I think the woman who was coming up with these questions was sort of fishing around for the proper term. But I mean, I guess you kind of fit in the alternative category, don't you?
I guess if you need to categorize us, I mean, I don't know. I've always been listening to the music that's influenced Tool, you know, so I don't know. I've never looked at us as alternative. You know, that's just like, you know, a kind of the, like when we started, people called us metal, because metal was still popular. And then they started calling us alternative when Nirvana came out. And then when Nine Inch Nails came out, they started calling us industrial. So that's what I'm saying. It's a real hard observation. As far as my own opinion, is I don't know. I just think we're, you know, just kind of godless rock and roll. Yeah. I guess, you know, I just think we took so long to come out with an album. People are really starved for it. You know, so I think that's why it did so well. You know, people just, you know, new tool, and there's a lot of, you know, underground talk. So I guess, I mean, that's my own theory. You know, I don't know. That's, you know, the facts.
But you seem to have a pretty loyal following. It's like almost sort of like.
But it's real underground. You know, it's not. I don't know. It's not very commercial at all.
But I mean, it's underground in the same way that Nine Inch Nails is underground, which is, you know, not really very underground anymore. You know, it's just a lot of people are listening to that kind of music now.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like this underground vibe. I mean, all I can judge from is like the people that come to see us. So, you know, that's where I'm making that observation.
Yeah. But I mean, you obviously had not expected this to go number 2 on the Billboard charts.
No, not at all.
Yeah, which is quite amazing. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah.